Let's talk about how to find the area of a triangle that's not a right triangle. I'm given triangle ABC where BC is 12 centimeters, AC is 17 centimeters, and the angle between them is 35 degrees. Now, the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times the height. In this case, my base is the BC, the 12. Now, the height has to be perpendicular to the base. And in this case, we're going to have to extend the base and drop the perpendicular at a right angle. So that's the height right there. Let's call the point D where my extended base intersects with my height. So let's look at the triangle ADC. So that extended triangle, the sine of 35 degrees is opposite, which is h over hypotenuse, which is 17. I can solve for h and get 17 times the sine of 35 is h. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use my original formula for the area of a triangle, 1/2 base times the height. My base of triangle ABC is still 12. My height is the h, which I solved for, which is 17 times sine of 35. I can evaluate that and get 58.5 squared centimeters for the area of triangle ABC. So I used this, I made an extra triangle to calculate the height, and then I was able to get it. So a formula that we're going to use when I don't have a right triangle is 1/2, the area of a triangle is 1/2 AB times sine of C. So AB are adjacent sides and C is the angle between them. Same idea, I've got triangle ABC. I've got the base, which is 12 centimeters. I'm going to drop a perpendicular to make the height. Notice triangle ADC, sine of 46 degrees is the opposite side, which is h divided by the hypotenuse, which is 14. I can solve for h here. Area is 1/2 base times the height. Area is 1/2 12 times 14 times sine of 46, which is 60.4 squared centimeters. Let's apply that. I want to find the area of this triangle. This one is pretty straightforward because I've got two sides and the angle between them, which means I can just plug them into the formula. 10 times 12 times sine of 35 gives me an area of 49.1 squared centimeters. So anytime I've got two sides and the angle between them, I'm good. I can find the area. Now here, I don't have two sides and the angle between them. I've got two sides and just another angle. So I'm going to have to find either another angle or another one of the sides. Because I'm given 15 and 110, I've got a side and the opposite angle, so I can use the law of sines. So 15 divided by sine of 110 is 10 divided by sine of A. I can solve for A and get 38.8 degrees. Once I have two angles in a triangle, I can find the third, since all of them add up to 180. Now, once I find the 31.2, I've got two sides and the angle between them. I've got the 15, I've got the 10, and I've got the 31.2. So 1/2 AB sine C, 1/2 10 times 15 times the sine of 31.2 gives me an area of 38.9 centimeters squared. So whenever I want to find the area of a triangle, my goal is to find two sides and the angle between them. Last example, I've got no angles, but I do know the three sides. So when you have no angles, but you know all three sides, you want to use the law of cosines. Doesn't matter what two sides I pick, I'm just going to get some kind of an angle. So I'm going to solve for angle B. So 14 squared is 9 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 9 times 8 times cosine of B. I get B to be 110.7. I want to know if that's reasonable, and the answer is yes, because it's the side that's opposite. It's the angle opposite along the side, and it's an obtuse angle, so that definitely makes sense. Once I have that angle, I've got two sides and the angle between them, so I can just plug it in. 1/2 AB sine C gives me 1/2 9 times 8 times sine of 1, 10.7, which gives me 33.7 centimeters squared. And the thing to remember there is make sure your area is in square units. So I want to include the units, and I want to include the fact that it is a squared unit. So that's how we find the area of a triangle using trigonometry.